Do you watch This Old House? You know, the PBS show where they repair, replace, and fix everything in a house. Ever fantasize about buying an old house yourself? If you are buying an older home, then there are a few repair items that you need to watch out for when you're making that purchase. Even if you are as handy as Bob Vila, you still want to make sure you avoid these things. Let's find out what those are. Hey everyone, this is Aaron Kinn with the Kinn team and eXp Realty. I have been selling real estate for 21 years in the DFW Metroplex, and the old homes are some of my favorites. And if you're thinking about buying an older home, there are a few things that you need to watch out for. And in this video, we're going to talk all about those key items to look out for. First and foremost, we don't want you to own a money pit. Okay, so I'm old, but if you haven't seen that movie, it's worth the hour and a half to absolutely freak you out on the problems that can present themselves in an older home. I mean, how do you go wrong with a Tom Hanks movie, especially when he's looking like a teenager?
Look, this is an old house. It's going to need some work. You've got to expect that.
Anyways, now that I have you sufficiently scared and you are still here, let's talk about what you can do to avoid the money pit. Something to keep in mind is these homes, because they are older, you definitely want to do a home inspection on these type of homes. You should on any home, but especially on old homes, because there are things that can come up that you want to be aware of. And it's best to know going into it so that you know exactly what those repair items are going to be. The first and foremost is going to be foundations. Because these homes may be around 50 to 100 years old, the foundations are obviously old, and they're likely going to be unreinforced. So what that means is they don't have rebar running through the concrete in the slab. The older the home is, the more likely it is to be a pier and beam foundation. They may not have the post and piers strapped to the house correctly, and we have seen several of these where the piers are split or have shifted and don't even support the house any longer. So you definitely want to have a home inspection done and then possibly a foundation inspection, and be prepared to potentially spend some serious money fixing those foundations. Now, if it's as simple as strapping the post and piers, that's not too bad. A few $1,000s here or there, and you'll be all set. If it's much more extensive, then there's damage that has occurred to the house because of the settling. You could be in a pretty costly repair situation of the tens of thousands of dollars to do the repairs to the foundation and the home. So when you're looking at the homes, you want to make sure that either those repairs have been done already or that there aren't major repairs needed. If there are major foundation issues, be prepared to spend an order of the magnitude of the cost to fix the foundations. I have the best in the business when it comes to inspectors and foundation companies, so have no fear, we have you covered there. The next one up, if your home was built before 1978, something to watch out for is lead-based paint in the home. Lead paint, if left undisturbed, actually poses no health hazard and can be simply painted over. However, if it is sanded and the dust particles get in the air, then it can be hazardous to those people working or those breathing in that chemical compound. Another way it can pose a health hazard is if a baby chews on a windowsill or the wall and ingest the lead paint. You can gamble this will never happen, train your baby not to eat wood, or basically you need to hire a professional trained in lead mitigation to properly remove the lead. And then it's no longer an issue. The other main thing you'll run into in these homes is cast iron piping. So these definitely corrode over time because they rust out. That is why they were phased out in 1980 and no longer used. If there is cast iron running to a house, the interior likely has old piping as well. So you want to replace those either with copper piping or PEX plastic style piping as well. Hopefully these plumbing items have been replaced by a prior owner, but potentially they have not. So you might have to be prepared to come up with a significant amount of money to replace the plumbing and sewer lines. These can run anywhere from $8 to $12 to as much as $40,000, depending on how long the line is and what's needed to be done. You can oftentimes reline the sewer with an epoxy filler that coats the interior of the pipe. And that can be a little cheaper option as well, but it isn't a permanent fix. Next up is the electrical in the homes. It may be very old, and sometimes they have old knob and tube wiring. So if they do have that, that's definitely something you're going to want to get upgraded soon to the traditional electric panel with circuit breakers, because the other way is just a fire hazard. Also, something to look for in these homes is going to be the roof. Sometimes it's not readily apparent when you see it, but this comes up a lot in the home inspection. Sometimes the roofs can be rather old as well. Of course, they're not going to be hundreds of years old with all the hail that we get. Probably 10 maybe is the max. We just want to check the age of the roof and make sure there's still useful life, or potentially you may be able to get some repairs done on that roof as well. Now, of course, these are just a few of the items to look for. Sometimes the home has been completely upgraded and updated and they're ready to go. But other times you're going to need some of these repairs done. At the very least, get a home inspection and know exactly what you're getting yourself into. In Texas, we have a very short window to inspect and negotiate these repairs. But now you know some of the biggest items to be concerned with when buying an old home. If I can help you buy or sell an old home or a new home, any home that is, please reach out to me via phone, email, or text, and let's have a conversation. Thank you for tuning into this video today and spending a few minutes with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Be blessed.